Hi, it's Renee again. So today, or in this video, we're talking about having respect for ourselves and the life experiences we've had. So many times we have these life experiences, and one, we don't celebrate the impact, the positive. We don't celebrate that we have succeeded at something. It's such an interesting experience. I can't tell you how many people talk about this, and I've had this experience myself. I created a musical. A musical came to me after my dad was killed in a car accident, and I carried that those songs. It was 75 minutes of songs based on Christmas. It was what kept me going. It gave me purpose in playing out the music and carrying it with me. And it had imagery with it, and I needed a specific I didn't have the skills to be able to bring it to light in the way that I wanted to. It took me 12 years to find a musician who had the skills to be able to bring it to life, and we did that. But we weren't prepared for the other side when you have to market it, right? So we did all this work, and then on the other side of it, we were like, "Ah." So we really didn't celebrate it, and it's something that I regret. And while we're on the topic of this, I know I talk about nourishing the good, but as we nourish the good, it can bring up to light some of the places where we have some chagrin that we didn't do it perfectly right. And that's good stuff too. This is what we bring to the community. I'm not a big fan of the positivity movement as a whole because I think that there's a part of it that gets into cognitive dissonance. If we're like not feeling good about ourselves, it's probably better to share that we're not feeling good about ourselves and have people support us in figuring out why, what's going on there, and also encouraging and nourishing the good. It's like they go hand in hand. You can't have one without the other. If hard stuff is coming up for people, this is what I learned about grief. If hard stuff is coming up for people, we have to check in with ourselves and go, "Oof, this is triggering some. I don't want to hear what this person has to say. It makes me feel uncomfortable." And it's hard when they're crying, and I don't like to see them sad, and I don't want to see them hurting, and I don't want to be around this right now. That's honest. That's really honest. And we can learn to be present with others when they're going through tough stuff because this is the human interaction, human connection. This is building human connection. So, yeah, we're nourishing the good. We're finding out about the wisdom that resides in you to be present with each other, with ourselves. Because when you're grieving and traumatized, and that's being triggered, and it's coming up in all sorts of ways you don't want it to come up, ugh, this community is about gathering our strength and wisdom to build resilience, to share with our friends and family, to share with our community, however we're building it, in such a way that we become more whole. That's ultimately the goal. My background is in body work, and I started that down that path, the healing arts path, really young. I actually went to massage school, and my mom, who while my mom was in the hospital dying from cancer. And there's a lot of reasons and some regret that I still have, that I still carry about not being with her in those last days. But I did what was best for me in that moment. And there were so many life lessons that came out of making that choice. So I went to massage school, and one of the things that came up in massage school was that as a body worker, it's we're not here to fix anyone. We're here to hold space for people so that they can do their own healing work because there's so much power in letting the nervous system relax and release and using the breath. I learned to coach it took me a few years, but coaching around the breath for people. And I found that to be the most effective way when we're working in concert, working as a team. The person on the outside of the experience touching those tender points, and the person on the inside reflecting back through the breath. We're in concert, making music in a sense. We're on the same team doing the healing work. And this has carried through in every aspect of my life. This is part of the wisdom that I've gained over time, to not only to share that with you and my own experiences, but to tune in to the best of the best, like Dr. Russ Kennedy and Dr. Renee, who's an emotions expert, so that I can bring you the best of the best. So to help you, to help us, to help our community do the healing work that we need to do for healthy human development. I'm all about healthy human development and thwarting loneliness, because at each stage, when I lost my mom, that was a hugely lonely experience. When I lost my dad, oh my God, and now I'm an orphan, hugely lonely experience. Some people had now, when I was in my 20s and I lost my mom, hardly anyone that I knew had lost a parent. So that really set my life on a different trajectory right out the gate. When I lost my business, and that's a whole story unto itself. That was the beginning of all this, like, really understanding that I needed to do deep, deep healing work that I'm even grappling with right now. But what I've come to the conclusion is that we are on this is the long race, a long journey. And of course, we never know when it's going to end. So we want to be sharing our wisdom with the people in our life in lots of different ways. And we can use multi-mediums to do that. Like right now, I'm sharing some of what I've learned via video. This video can be turned into a transcript, or I took written notes before I came live to camera. Those can be typed up. I can read it out loud and send it to audio. We have all these capabilities to share our wisdom. And the wisdom gathering quest is all about giving you tools and exercises and questions to get the conversation within yourself started going. So I'm really excited to share this process with you. And you should look in your email about how to get started with the wisdom gathering quest. I'm looking forward to learning more about your life and sharing your story with you. Take care. We'll be in touch soon.